Okay, after last video of me breaking down the deers, both deers, the axis and the whitetail, this is what I did with both of them. I have the pieces that are going to get seasoned and go on the smoker. This seasoning is just a salt, pepper, garlic, cumin seasoning. This is the beef seasoning that we made for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guys. So all of the shoulders, all of the ribs, all of the shanks, I'm kind of cleaning up a little bit as I'm seasoning them too. So I'm going to season all these. We're going to smoke them. I'm going to make a stock with the bones. The bones are smoking. And then these are going to get braised, smoked and braised in a mixture of the stock and some salsa, like chili puree. Except this one I'm giving to Bradley, and he's going to make a video with this shoulder. Real quick shout out to Meat, Made with Meat, hooking us up with the nice vacuum sealer. Vacuum seal this bad boy. That's going to go to Bradley. Look out for the Chud's Barbecue video on him doing something with whatever this deer shoulder is from the first deer I shot. You only give your game meat to your best buddies. Hopefully he does something good with it. Here it comes. Nice, made with meat. Alright, we're putting these deer pieces on the smoker here. Again, bones kind of toward the back and the front, the places that are going to be like the hottest. And then also had to put some bacon ribs on at the same time. But then all those deer pieces. We're not serving any of this deer. Can't really do that. But I was smoking it at the same time I'm doing other work. So that does happen. And I did process it. That was the point of doing this whole deer, was to process it myself and not have to drop it off somewhere. Always, as an aside, always remember to peel the labels off your dishes. Alright, making some sausage here now. Doing like a hot link. I took a little bit of pork fat from the pig this week, and then our deer, and then a little bit of beef scraps. Doing a nice little hot link. I shared this with our friends who went out and took us to their ranch to go hunting for that deer. In addition to making sausage, I just ground some up so we and our friends could have just some ground meat, some stuff to stuff your freezer with. So now we have a bunch of ground venison if we want to make tacos or chili or whatever else we want to do. Had them bagged up in little 2-pound bags, sealed up, and now my freezer is nice and full of deer meat. For some hamburgers in the future, for some deer bolognese in the future. But for the rest of this video, we're making deer tacos. So, got the smoked bones going down in the stock. We're going to fire that off. It cooked overnight. Then, as I said, once the stuff comes off the smoker, which is right now, we are going to braise it up. Just took these to about 155. Don't want to cook them all the way to really cook all the juice out of them, all the moisture out of them. Just put some color down and set the bark a little bit. And they're going to get braised. This is all the finished packaged meat. Got a couple loins in there too. Got the shoulder for Bradley. Got some caul fat with the loins. Got some tongues. This is me grinding up all that sausage. It's not that much. It's like one bust up. But still, a couple legs worth. And a bunch of meat scraps plus some pork fat in there too. Now it's time to braise all these deer pieces. Kind of try to keep like pieces together, shoulders together, ribs together, shanks together, so the kind of similar sized pieces cook at the same time. This is some red salsa we had lying around. Just kind of made some of that. Dumped it in there. Wanted to just give an extra little flavor profile, something Mexican-ish, because we were also going to be doing the birria tacos. So this had tomatoes, garlic, onion, cilantro, all the stuff that we would have put into a braise anyway. So we just put it in there with the nice deer stock. Look at that, cooked overnight. That stuff's gonna braise all day. Multiple plastic. Keep it nice and tight in there. Keep the pressure up. Then we're gonna go foil over the top. Again, nice and tight along the edges. And then we're just gonna go in the oven. A couple hours. Till it looks like that. Drain it all out. Pick it all. Now we're really getting into the birria taco part of the video. Separating all the bones. Separating all the meat. From the neck, the shoulders. You know, a lot of people don't like the taste of venison or the kind of like waxy fat on it. But if you cook it right, just like anything else, if you cook it right, it's going to taste really good. This preparation where it was smoked and then braised and then it mixed with this like chili broth for the birria was so good. Doesn't I mean it at the same time it does and it doesn't really taste like venison. It kind of just tastes like a braised beef, but then again you're like, oh wait, there's something a little funky, a little wild about this. Came out super good. And a bunch of sausages. Some of them coming out of the ice bath, nice and cold smoked. Some of them going into a separate ice bath. Now it's time to throw down the birria. I took that stock, blended it with some dried chilies. Now we're heating them up. Got 2 cast iron skillets going. One, a little bit of cheese down. And I have some meat and stock in that back pot. Throw a little bit of finished birria meat on there. Start heating up the tortillas. Once the cheese is set, start scraping those up. Folding them over. Transfer it over to the taco. You can tell this is not my like professional job making tacos, even though it is in my blood. Put a little bit of stock on there, turn them over, toast them again, and then go cheese down again, and then just keep making tacos. I made these for family meal one day. Look at that guy go. He's moving so fast. Turn them over, more cheese down. More tacos, more tortillas, more broth. I hadn't at this point settled on like, alright, do I do the broth inside? Do I do it on the outside? I think I liked it most on the just outside of both sides and then let it toast a little bit. If I had to do it again, I'd put a little bit more fat in that broth and only do the grease and not just necessarily the broth. But they still came out super good. Really tasty. Well, that was a good manager meeting. Birria tacos. The name just works too. Birria. So once everything was all said and done with this deer, we had a bunch of ground meat from the scraps from butchering it, plus some of the back leg meat. We had a bunch of sausages that were a mix of venison, pork, and beef. We had a bunch of bagged birria meat in broth. And we had the loins. So that was just a full process yourself, and that's something that I think that I would do with almost every animal of that size, which is pull out the big muscles from the middle, braise the shoulders and some of the ribs, braise or smoke and braise or confit, or like cook them to shred essentially, make a pulled or a chopped meat out of them. Back legs used for ground, And then that's essentially everything. That's breaking down a whole animal. That's the same thing that we do with the pork every day, every time, every week. It's the same thing that we're going to do with the cows in the brick and mortar, with lamb in the brick and mortar. Same thing we did with the bison last year. That's just how the animal breaks down. Makes it nice and easy for us. God, I made a lot of these tacos. And here we go. Final. Money shot. Birria tacos. Not the last time this is going to go down. I think I'm just going to do this every time I kill a deer. Just start making this recipe better and better. There we go. Birria tacos. Too bad you couldn't have any. This was for staff only.